Hello and welcome back to the Leaders Fuel Daily Podcast. This is episode number 11, and I am pumped. I'm here with my friend Michael Barrovecchio, and he happens to be a fellow business coach, an executive coach, and a member of the John Maxwell team. And he's got something great to share with us today. I can't wait. And I can't wait for you to get to meet him and hear more about him. So, Michael, thank you very much for doing this and jumping in on these podcasts and bringing what you have. And I really appreciate you. You and I have had a good coaching partnership. We got paired up as coaching partners and had some great conversations. And I'm just looking forward to what you have to share with us today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here. I love spending time with you. So it's an honor to be. It's going to be a fun time together.
Nice. All right. So you're bringing something today, right? What are you bringing? Tell us about this whole idea. What do you have for the Leaders Fuel Daily community today?
Yes. Thank you. So the idea I want to bring to all of us today is something I call bring your brilliance. It actually came out of my mouth while I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about some deep things of the heart and where we feel we fit in the world. I know many of you are, if you're working with Rick and you're part of this community, I know that you are you reflect often and really dig into how to be better every day and where do I fit in and what can I do better than, where's this path?
Yes.
And we were in the discussion and it just came out. I'll be honest with you. It just, I want to help people bring their brilliance.
Nice.
What I mean by that is we are all unique. We all bring things to the world that nobody else can bring. We know our DNA is completely unique. Our fingerprints, our retina scan, we are all created to be completely unique and to fill a place in the world.
Nice. Absolutely love that. I love that. And so let me ask you, get a little bit of background. Like, what do you think brought you to the place where that came out of your mouth in that moment?
Yeah.
What was behind that? And because obviously, people don't. I think all of us, there was this thing. It was one of the transcendental guys said we all kind of live in this sort of quiet desperation. And we're all longing, like, well, how do I fit in? I think, what am I here for? I think that's part of how we're designed, but it's also something that we sort of have to come to. We have to get to a place where we recognize, I think, hey, life, I got one shot at this. This is short. And what am I doing here? I think there's some of that, but let me ask for you, like, what brought you to this whole idea and where that would come out of you, bring your brilliance?
Yeah, thank you. It came on the tail end of much reflection and really digging in. Rick, part of that was you and I working together. For those of you in this community, Rick is an excellent coach. I would, hire this man, but he,
I'll Venmo that money to you later on. Thanks for
that. But you helped me. You really did help me to really dig into. I had come out of the business world. I had seen so many people that were in jobs and positions of leadership.
Right.
And they were somewhat held captive because they were making good money, but they would question the meaning of what am I doing? What am I actually contributing to the world?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel that the world needs every one of us to step into the full brilliance of who we are.
Yeah.
So while the term kind of came out in a conversation with a friend, bring your brilliance, I was like, oh, that's good. I need to write that down. The idea was there for a long time because I had struggled with the same thing. Like, am I worthy of going out and starting a business? I had this desire to start a bit. And Rick, you know much of this story, but start a business and you have all those questions around, why would anyone pay me to do anything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then realize that, hey, I have things that I can bring to the world that nobody else can bring, and we need everyone. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, and I bet when you said that last bit right there, why would anyone pay me? I bet a lot of people who are listening are shaking their heads like, "Oh my
Mm,
word, that's exactly what I was thinking." You know that one of the things in the power plant mastermind group, we just got done with the study of As a Man Thinketh, and it's the whole idea really that we go out to and we're kind of presenting one face or who where we are, but inside the way that we're viewing ourselves is absolutely critical in that whole equation.
mm,
And I think as entrepreneurs, that's something that all of us face at some point
mhm,
is, people call it like the imposter syndrome or something
mm,
similar in different situations. But
yeah.
I think it's, that idea of, am I worthy of this dream? And
Mhm,
I think part of the idea is absolutely you are 100%. If you wouldn't be able to have the idea if you were not already worthy of
right.
either being that person or becoming the person worthy of that dream. So,
Right.
all right. So what are some of the things when you think about now on now that that came out? What followed that as far as bring your brilliance? Like, talk about what does that mean? What does that come to mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So, as you mentioned earlier, I'm a coach, and
Mm-hmm.
what I really I come at when I many of my clients have had coaches before, and quite honestly, they they had coaches that were um, telling them what to do,
Yeah.
for lack of
Yeah.
a better way of saying it. And I think we all struggle with, there's so much information out there, and some of it resonates, some of it doesn't. But how do
Mm-hmm.
I prioritize? How do I pick? And when I work with people, what I tell them is, first of all, you'll know when something is right for you. Let's
Mm-hmm.
peel back all of the layers on top of the real you that's trying to get out.
There you go. Nice.
So you have the marketing people tell you, start a business, right? And we're
Mm-hmm.
working together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you as a coach. I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. What I will
Mm-hmm.
do is I will help. I'm there to empower you
Mm-hmm.
step into your business. As you said, Rick, you have this desire
Mm-hmm.
to start this business, or to fill a position in a corporation, or you have this desire to do this. And as you said, you're absolutely right. You are resourced within to
Mm-hmm.
do that with excellence. And there's
Yeah.
always more, and there's always more. My job is to help empower you to step into that, because the marketing, you have 800,000 different marketing plans, and you need
Mm-hmm.
to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to get people to hit the pause button,
Mm-hmm.
say, you need to do what feels right for you at this time.
Yes. Yeah.
Encourage them to stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's really, really important, because in any endeavor, many of us feel, again, unworthy, but will never catch up, or because there is so much to do and there is
Yeah.
so much good
Yeah.
information out there. Start where you are and just grow it organically.
Very nice. So, in this whole idea of bring your brilliance, has there been any part of this is about this sort of idea of if I'm in this arena, I'm in arena A, you know what? I'm not really shining so much. I might be
Mm,
playing a role, doing a part,
yeah,
but
yeah,
my brilliance isn't really boiling up to the surface, right? Isn't
right.
it? But when I'm in area C, then that's really where my brilliance starts to shine. Is that a part of what you share with people?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. You are who you are. You may just be in the wrong environment. I
Yeah.
mean, we all know, if for pick a sport, pick a sport superstar.
Yeah.
Football quarterback will be, except Tom Brady seems to win wherever he goes. But
Right. Yeah.
um, um, you know, we've all witnessed stars, people who are at the world-class level in a particular sport,
Mm-hmm.
produce at a world-class level on
Mm-hmm.
one team, not so much on the other team.
Not
So
so much. Yeah.
environment has a lot to do with it. And that's one of the things as I work with people, we don't allow, I encourage them not to be chained to any one position, to,
Mm-hmm.
if to really dig and to really build the vision of what they want their perfect life to be. And that may or may not include the job you're in right now, or whatever situation you're in right now. So,
Do you find that people that you're bringing that to, have they ever considered even that idea to that that's a possibility that you could sort of build this own vision? We talk a lot about this idea of living by design rather than by default. Do
right.
you find that when you bring people to this that they're like, oh, this is something, is it typically a new concept for people when you're bringing that?
Um, Not a new concept, but a scary concept,
Yeah, yeah,
right? A scary concept
yeah.
because the the situation many times, and we have all been there.
Hmm.
Where I am is, currently am is not great, but I know it. It doesn't stretch me.
Right.
It doesn't hurt.
Hmm.
I'm not happy with it. I wish, we have that desire. So
Hmm.
to answer your question, most people have that flicker of desire, but
Yeah.
yet all of those doubts start to
Hmm.
come. If I step out, will I make a fool of myself? Will I lose all my money? Again, who's going to pay me to be a coach?
Right.
Who
Yeah.
don't, right? So, while I think it's mostly not a new concept, many times they feel, well, but that's for somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm too
Mm.
scared to step out and do this. They
Very
don't admit
interesting.
they're scared, but when you work with them, you see that that's what's happening. So then my job is to encourage them to, let's peel back the fear. Let's really start to step out.
You mentioned something earlier that I think is a key dynamic in all that, and that is that part of what could be holding people back is their the comfort of actually making too much money right now.
Absolutely.
Meaning, I just heard again this morning, we are so afraid to let go of the familiar in order to go to what is possible. We
Yeah.
almost always trade what's possible for what's familiar. And I'm sure that in what you're doing, that's got to be a very common dynamic of people stepping outside of that comfort zone, even with all of the uh, well, I don't know if this is too strong of a word I'm about to use, misery, but
Mhm.
at least that idea, that unsettledness of the soul of knowing there's
Yeah.
got to be more than this, and that lack of meaning, I think, is the idea there.
Hmm.
That I've got money, okay, but I once wrote a post and it was called "Is Your Money Making You Stupid?" And that sounds pretty harsh, but the idea is that I was just kind of paying attention to people that had gotten quick success financially
Hmm.
and then pretty much ruined their businesses. Now, their business might still be surviving, but they took the purity of their original idea of where they were going and their approach to people and how
Hmm.
they treated employees, and they got money, and then all of that went out the window. And I think, that I'm thinking more that I wrote it more from kind of the entrepreneurial side, but in this idea of someone's not necessarily the entrepreneur, but they're in a business, they may or may not be, but they could be in a position
Yeah.
where they've sort of risen to this level where they have a financial awareness that is, it's pretty good, not bad at all, and
Hmm.
very comfortable. Um, but then, they forgot that they sort of traded comfort for growth in that equation,
Yes.
maybe, right? Or
Yeah.
traded growth for comfort, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That are you seeing that some?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially Rick, if it really cost them some discomfort to get where they are. So
Yes.
they're now safe on second
Ooh,
base. It
there you
took a
go.
lot of energy and a lot of
Mhm.
sleepless nights to get to second base, and they're safe.
Mhm.
And it really is tempting to stay on second
Mhm.
base.
Yeah.
Shouldn't try to steal third, because what if I don't make it?
Yeah.
Right? And, when you are in a situation where you have to get out and move,
Mhm.
otherwise you'll starve or you'll
Yeah.
faint, right? So the motivation is there, but then when you get to a certain level, and that is absolutely, we have all, I I'm willing to bet that everyone listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, has been there, right?
There
You
you
have
go.
that decision. Do I risk it all?
Mhm.
Do I risk even a good portion of it to maybe reap greater rewards, or do I stay where I am? And it's really interesting that our loved ones,
Mhm.
love them,
Mhm.
but they don't want to see us get hurt. And
Yeah.
they don't want to take part sometimes in the risk involved in getting to the next level. So
Mhm.
your spouse or your children or your mom or your dad may encourage you to stay safe.
Yes. Yeah.
And hey, you got it pretty good.
Mhm.
Yes, I do. But there's this inner desire.
Mm.
And, you know, many people really, and you probably experienced this too, Rick, as a coach,
Mhm.
many people don't have someone that really believes
Mhm.
in them.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, as a caveat, I know you and I know what you're not going to people is just you're not going to people just with a simple message, risk it all and go out there. It's
No,
much more complex and sophisticated than that.
absolutely.
It's much more intelligent. But I think the idea and what you started with is that there's a purpose that
Yes.
we were placed here for a purpose and we got one shot at this.
Yeah.
And I think that the idea is that it's really about this light inside of you, right?
Yeah.
And you can get to a place where you have fought a lot of battles and you've gained some victories and done pretty well,
Mhm.
but you recognize that your light's beginning to dim.
Yeah.
And whether you stay in that position or go to another position or go start a business, there's that dynamic is always going to be in place, is that we can sort of get very comfortable in certain things
Mhm.
and all of a sudden we recognize we're not really bringing our brilliance, right? We
Yeah.
maybe once did. We and by the way, we still have the capacity to bring the brilliance. The brilliance, it's all there, but it's kind of like this idea, it's sort of hidden under a basket, right?
Yeah.
Something's kind of covered it up. And I
Yeah.
think yeah, like the processes that you're taking people through is, whatever their circumstances are, wherever they go, whatever they're doing, is you're kind of peeling back the bits of the basket and showing a little more of the light, a little more of the light, aren't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And causing them to pause and see that light,
Hmm.
causing them to pause and say, you took this step, it didn't go exactly the way you desired it to go,
Yeah.
but realize the people that you impacted by making this step. As you say,
Yes. Yeah.
the light that you cast on people.
Yeah.
But while it may not have been as bright and as brilliant as you had hoped,
Yeah.
envisioned, and it's not the end, and you can try again.
Hmm.
I mean, I feel so strongly about this because I was that guy.
Yes.
You know
Yeah.
my history, Rick.
Mm.
So for the rest of you, I I had great jobs, made plenty of money to support my family, but I was that person who had
Yeah.
that flicker, that desire to want more and
Hmm.
have those internal conversations with
Yes.
myself and
Yeah.
with
Right.
God.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's got to be more.
Mm.
And once I uh, stepped out, got the courage to step out.
Hmm.
Um, I wish I had done it way earlier than I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, so I'm very sensitive to that. And to your point, thank you for clarifying. I'm not advocating people to just cash
Right.
everything in and just go
Right.
for it, because
Sure.
that would be irresponsible.
Right.
But I was that guy that was, wanted, I really enjoyed the safety of it, but
Mm-hmm.
I was taking one for the team, and that I was the one that was okay. I'll be unfulfilled for the
Mm-hmm.
benefit of my family,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
keeping them safe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when I got the courage to take that step, and then another step, and then another step, my wife is amazing, and she supported me every step of the way, no matter how much risk came.
Mm-hmm.
But that I look back on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I have so much more growth
Yes. Yeah.
to experience.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm not experiencing, every day is exciting now. It doesn't feel like work anymore, because it's why I was here. I know that this is my purpose, to help
Yeah.
others. And I can put my arm around people that I work with now and say, I know exactly, you're not a bad person because you're scared.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's outstanding. And I know that a softball question I could ask you is, would you ever go back?
Yeah.
And I know the answer to that question already. I had a conversation with a gentleman last Saturday who has his own business here locally, and I was going in to pick up something from him and had a great conversation with him. And it was really the idea of, once you've stepped outside of that and you've experienced everything else that comes along with it,
Mhm.
risk and all, good, bad, or indifferent,
Mhm.
there's no way you would go back
Right.
to being in that environment. And by the way, that doesn't mean that people that are in there, it's not a negative thing. It's just that, for you, as you've gone and persisted on this pathway, there's no going back. And you are just not the same person as you were when you started that journey. And
Absolutely.
and so
Yeah.
and I think there's another dynamic too that I don't want to miss here, and that is people bringing their brilliance help other people bring their brilliance.
Yes.
And to the degree to which we are bringing our brilliance, we're going to see that go up of the
Mhm.
people around us.
Yeah.
There's a magnetic energy to that.
Yes.
There's an attractiveness to it. There's a refreshing thing when someone is in that zone and bringing their
Mhm.
brilliance,
Mhm.
and somehow it draws that out of other people.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's a pretty, so again, wherever your environment is, it's not really about the environment, is it? It's about what's going on inside of the person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about what's going on inside of the person.
Yeah.
And we tend to see people that are doing what we want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say mimic them.
Yes,
Now, it's good to have mentors, and it's good to have models, and
for
it's good
sure.
to be in a community, the community, the community that we're speaking into now.
Yeah,
Iron sharpening iron. It's good to
absolutely.
have. It's fantastic to have people that are out ahead of you, and you can see what they do, and you can learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. But I encourage people every day.
Mm-hmm.
You will not ever do it like Rick will. You're never going to do it like I will.
Right.
Yes, you'll be a great leader. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be a great entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to look different than anything you've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So while you can glean
Mm-hmm.
understanding from others, and
Yes.
highly encourage that, that's why this community exists,
Mm-hmm.
but understand that you will never, ever, ever lead like a John Maxwell or a Rick Burris
Mm-hmm.
or anyone. You have to lead the way you lead. You
No,
can't
that's a
do
good
it
point.
like them, because
Outstanding.
that feels like you're in someone else's skin, and it
Yeah.
reinforces for you that you're
Mm-hmm.
not good enough. You have to do it like someone else. No, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, no. It may take you a while to get your rhythm, but I will. And again, you and I have coached together. You were my coach for a while. I know that you will encourage people to the nth degree to
Mm-hmm.
just Stay at it. It's your
Mm-hmm.
rhythm. You have to bring who you are and do it the way you will do it. There's no,
Yes.
you can't be somebody else. I don't know
Nice.
how else to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I heard a great thing this morning from someone I follow, and basically he was saying the number one quality of a leader is authenticity, and that's exactly what you just said. Is just be
Yeah.
who you are and let who you say you are and what you do match each other. That's a great
That's right.
thing.
Yeah.
Wow, so much good stuff. I can't wait to go back and listen to what you shared here. And I really appreciate you being a part of this. And so, what I want to know is just tell everybody more specifically, what do you do? I mean, I've already said, and we've said we're both coaches,
Mhm.
and where do you reside and where are you?
Yeah.
I know where you live doesn't limit who you can work with for sure. You can work with people from a lot of
Right.
different places, but
Yeah.
talk more about your business and the name of your business and what all you do with that.
Yes. Thank you. I'm president and founder. My wife Cindy and I are the owners of CAPO Leadership Consulting.
Okay.
CAPO, CAPO Leadership Consulting, and there's a humorous story. My children. I have two boys.
Hmm.
My boys and my grandkids. Now I have five grandkids.
Nice.
They call me Capo.
Ah, nice.
It got started years ago. My dad
Yeah.
is actually senior capo.
Aha.
So
Aha.
when we started this business, we were overthinking, what do we name it?
Yeah.
And one morning, Cindy woke up and said, "Why don't we just call it capo?" And I thought, wow, that's pretty good. Let's go with that. So Capo Leadership Consulting, we are here in Saucon Valley, Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
So if I spin my camera around, I know,
Hmm.
Rick, you don't have snow on the ground right now,
We
but
do not.
we have quite a bit of snow on the ground. And we focus on executive coaching, business leader coaching, um, and leadership training. So we work with John Maxwell team.
Hmm.
So if you know John Maxwell, number one leadership authority in the world, and
Hmm.
I have the honor of having an agreement where I can use a lot of John's content when we
Hmm.
do leadership training, very high energy interactive mastermind groups, etc. So um,
Outstanding.
yeah, thank you.
Well, we're going to make sure that wherever this goes out, whether it's by video or audio, that people have a way to learn more about you and to get in touch with you and to be able to connect. And obviously, if I wouldn't want you to be on here if I couldn't highly endorse what you do and recommend you. And I'm just so thankful for you being on here and being a part of it. And I look forward to continued growth with you in the future and all the conversations that are yet to come.
Very good. Same here. And once again, it's an honor. Thank you, Rick, for having me.
Outstanding. Bye for now.